Hello everybody. Oh, it's been a little while since I did one of these, and I don't know really. I had an experience the other day which for me really brought home yet again, and it has to happen that way, I guess, to really awaken us, to really yet again open our eyes to it. It's layer after layer, something like that. Just, it's so unsettling when it happens, it really is. Some people that have a shop, in fact, no, two instances, two groups of people, let's say, that each have a shop. One is the place where I bought my bike, the other is a Whole Food store that I frequent. And I thought both sets of people were sold. I really did. They really had me fooled. They were so good. And then you're there and you're having a conversation and you just realize starkly, it really just, it's like, they're Npcs, of course they are. And you realise that yet you've slipped into unawareness again. You've allowed that to happen. We do that all the time. We walk through this world still sleepwalking, still not being in awareness, still allowing ourselves to believe that, oh, these are real souled people. There is a connection. And then you look back on it then, at the moment where you realise, oh no, that's not the case, they are NPCs. You realise, you think, wow, I could have so easily known that all along, because they make you feel uncomfortable. They ask you how you are. And when you're just about to start telling them, they just carry on talking over you instead about themselves. It's like, oh, how are you? And I was like, well, yeah, not great, I have to be honest. Oh, we're doing really well, and off they go. They make you feel uncomfortable because, I mean, the ones in the Whole Food shop especially, wow, they're good, they really are. They're so good at mimicking us, it literally is just, wow. But I think the more awake we are, the more we are able to really see it for what it is, like, wow, yeah. Because we spend more time in awareness. It's like you seek a connection as a souled individual, as a soul being. You seek connection, you seek meaning, you seek belonging. It makes you feel good. We live in a world where we're told that if you are that way, that you are a validation junkie or an approval junkie. This is bullshit. This is gaslighting nonsense. As souled beings, it is our most natural state to want to belong, to want to commune, to want meaning. It makes us feel very, very good, and we are forced to do without it on an almost continual basis. No wonder we're all so messed up. And we're being punished for wanting those things, actually, Well, you're an approval junkie. Well, no, I'm not an approval. Well, yeah, there is that element, because obviously I've been so traumatized here that you taught me not to trust myself. You took that away from me. You stole that from me, see? So yeah, I do need constant approval. You're right, but I'm working on it. That's not what this is about, you gaslighty bastard. I seek communion. I seek meaning. I want to look at another souled being, and I want that souled being to look back at me. And I want there to be that instant knowing. Yeah. But with these people, you get the opposite. It's like a kick in the gut. It's like they're saying you're not acceptable. Why? I'll tell you for why. Souled beings are idiosyncratic. Yes, we are. We're idiosyncratic. We're unpredictable. And the hive doesn't like it. It doesn't know how to react to that. It's like, ooh, they malfunction. They malfunction in a way. And so the reaction is never positive. It's always one of either you get the blank stare like that, or it's just negative. It's just this energy of like, that is not acceptable here. You are not acceptable here with your creative being, with your idiosyncratic creativity. That is not acceptable here. And it weighs really heavy. It makes you feel really shitty. It makes you feel really heavy, rejected and shitty. And that's happened to us from the minute we were born, basically. So that's why we feel so like you're just not good enough. You're never going to be good enough. Well, this is true because we're never going to be non-souled, see? So of course not. We're never going to fit in here because we have a soul. And it's like there I was thinking, oh, maybe she's depressed and being kind and being nice and trying to, you know, whatever. Because they had this whole thing going on. We're collecting money for the orangutans and with this and with that, and we're like really into, you know, eco-culture. And now I realise it's like, Anika, no, that's not it. That's not it. It's not what people say they're into. It's not the posters they have hanging on their wall, the money they collect for this, that or the other charity. It's not about that, honey. It's not what they dress like, it's not what they look like. It's what you feel here. Come on, you know this. Wow. Bloody appalling. We're souled beings. We are so much clearly of a threat to the hive, which is one thing. There is no individuality, there is no free will. It is one thing. NPCs are one thing. They are not individual. They may appear individual. They're very good at mimicking souled beings. And if we're not awake enough yet to be in awareness at all times, we're going to fall for it. Not always, but a lot of the time. We're going to fall for it. And anyway, these two experiences brought me to something within myself, which is very much connected to this whole Black Moon Lilith action we've been having astrologically, which is all about self-determinism, self-activation, our purpose such as it is in this fake virtual reality. I'm currently busy with a project which I'm hoping to turn into a way of, you know, earning my bread, as it were. Which, you know, in a sense, you're already kind of walking backwards then, because we shouldn't even have to do that. We shouldn't have to earn a living. It's a basic human right to have clothing, food, shelter, etc., etc., etc. You know, you shouldn't have to work for that in some job that you don't even like or enjoy. But seeing as we have to earn that money that they have invented and so forth and so on, we may as well do it doing something that we love. It does kind of put a damper on it, having to do it for a living because you need money to live on. That gives it already like a negative swirl in the ice cream, like a black swirl in the white, and that isn't a good thing at all. But needs must, and you know, I'm determined to see this through. But the minute I started working on this, I got this really heavy feeling shortly after discovering this whole NPC business yet again. And I just, horrible feeling, horrible. Because these people just make you feel so shitty. Why ask me how I am if you have absolutely no interest? You ask me that because you're like a robot. It's scripted. And then it's scripted to completely and utterly ignore my response and start talking about how well you are doing, how many bikes you have sold, how much money you are making. I just phased out and walked off. I just wandered off. I thought, fuck you, I'm just not going to even stand here and listen to your utter garbage. And just wandered off. And in the Whole Foods shop, where I made a joke or something, because I am an individual, I am authentic, I am me, I am very quirky, I'm a quirky sort of individual. And it's like you get that blank stare, this kind of like, you are not accepted here, you're not acceptable, your behavior is not acceptable. And I know for a fact that my behavior is not unacceptable. I'm funny, I have a good sense of humor, and I'm warm, and I'm kind, and I have shitloads of empathy. I was going to go somewhere, but I need to backtrack actually, because there's something that I've noticed actually that I wanted to put out there, because this is it. Now, soul beings have curiosity. We are curious, not just about me, but everything. And I'm interested in other people. And when I say to somebody, how are you doing? And they say, well, actually, I'm not doing very well. I feel really shitty. Not that I said that to him. I wouldn't. Because I don't know him well, so I wouldn't. But ask me how I am. I am going to be honest. I'm not going to say I'm fine when I'm not, but, you know, whatever. But if somebody says that to me, I'd be like, whoa, really? What's going on then? And I would listen and I would care. Soul beings have curiosity, numero uno. Number two, we have sympathy, you know, simpatico. It's like, I care, I am interested, I care, I want to hear, I understand, because I feel that way myself. So very often we have simpatico, and then we have empathy, and we have compassion, we have wisdom, and we aren't the same people that we were, say, 2 months ago. We've already moved on, we've already changed, we've already evolved. They never do, you know, they're the same. They don't have any of those things at all. They do not possess them. They can mimic them, but it is glib, it is superficial, it's one-dimensional, it isn't real, and you know it straight away. Because these emotions I've just described, or these states of consciousness that I've just described to you here, are energetic. They are vibrational in nature. And so we feel them. But when you're dealing with an NPC who is mimicking this, there is no vibrational frequency stuff going on. There is nothing there. So you don't feel anything. Back in the day, we probably used to think it was us. Oh, it's my fault. I don't feel anything somehow. Somehow it must be my fault. I'm getting it wrong. Yeah. But now I know that, no, I don't feel anything because there is nothing there. It's that tumbleweed thing, you know. It is like watching a film that somebody told you, let's sit down and watch this film. It's a really great film. You watch it and it is the most dull, most boring film you've ever seen. It's one of these B movies. The plot is appalling. It's like, you know, the script is stupid and it's just all one-dimensional, turgid bullshit, and you're there and you've lost interest. You just don't care anymore, so you just wander off. It's like that. Utter nonsense. Appalling. Anyway, so that is this world for you, basically. That is all these NPCs, the hive, call it what you will. And I am not a big believer in this whole AI business. I don't really ascribe to it. It is it is like an analogy or like an example, like it is like AI, but it isn't really an AI. It's not like we're in a machine or anything like that. It isn't that way. I was watching Brave New World, the series, which came out not that long ago, and I was watching that. And I think it was in episode 5 where there's these people and they're lying on these beds and they're dreaming the whole world. It was sort of like that, but not quite, but you know. They make up Indra that runs the show. And I thought it's kind of like that, because I keep having that image in my head. I literally went in this chair and I went poof, and I was out the birth canal and in this place, sort of. Now that is not a literal example of what happened. It's an image that tells me it's a bit like that. You see? That's all. I heard a woman's voice. I was half asleep, half awake, and it was this woman's voice, cultured. Her immune system is getting stronger. I think I told you guys about this. And it makes me think that this is some sort of segregation. We are segregated, we had to be, because our consciousness was sickening with something which we call evil. And this entire experience is a result of it. And we are literally over there dreaming up this nightmare, which is now reaching a level of distortion, of dismantling, as it were, because our immune system is healing, our consciousness is healing. The more our consciousness heals, the more the disease, the sickness, the virus within our consciousness fights for survival. It's like when you have an infection and you take antibiotics, you know. The virus fights back. It doesn't want to die. It's, of course, you know, then they have to give you stronger antibiotics. But in our case, our consciousness is healing, I feel. And that is why this shit show is happening the way it is. It's like, no, because it's there, and it's, what is it saying? What's it saying, people? Everything that's happening, if you take everything that's happening and how it resonates, how it feels energetically, and if you take everything that's happened to you throughout your life, and everything that's happening to you right now, plus the external, right, all of it, and put it in a basket or on a scrying mirror, and then look at it. What's the image that you see? What do you get? What's it saying to you? Well, what is it saying? It's saying, why don't you just give up? You're all doomed. Evil's won. There's going to be a vaccine soon, and if you don't take the vaccine, they won't allow you to earn money, they won't allow you to buy food, they won't allow you to do anything, so you'll end up dead. That's it, and that's how it's going to be. And then I look at all these people on that Anna Breeze channel, which I find very interesting, I find it very educational, and there's some there who are really with it and getting it and quite optimistic in a good sense, not in a stupid way, but in a good sense. But there are so many people literally just predictive programming. That's all they're doing. Oh, it's going to happen. There was a guy living in Ibiza, whatever, and apparently it's very bad in Spain, which I'm not surprised about actually, because ever since they had their dictator, and yeah, there's something in the Spanish psyche, you know, they're very easily manipulated, very easily controlled, you know, the religion, Catholicism has a lot to do with that, but also the fact that for decades, literally decades, they were under a very dark, pernicious dictatorship. There's a lot of very, very evil things have happened there to do with kids and whatnot, yeah? So it's very militant now, and there's police everywhere. You're not allowed to sing, you're not allowed to dance, you have to wear a mask everywhere you go. There was even some guy over there suggesting that people should be forced to wear masks even in their own homes. Wow. Like, you know, madness. It's bad there. But this guy was really driving it all the way home. It's like, yeah, it's going to get really bad. They're going to kill our pets, and then they're going to kill all of us, and it's all this and it's all that. And it's like, wow, great. Yeah, predictive programming. Because that is the virus. That is what it is. The black oil. It's there. Be afraid. Give up. Just give up. Believe that you're powerless and that you're worthless and that you're doomed and that evil's won. That is the name of the game. And then on the other side is our true consciousness, our true self, saying, no, that's not true. Don't believe it. Don't go into that, sitting there in that dark room believing that. You see? Now this Black Moon Lilith energy brought up a shitload of very, very heavy, dark, deep shit. Shame and guilt. And for me, it was this feeling of, don't bother doing anything. You will not succeed. You will never succeed. And it's interesting because then I watched a video by the Green Wizard, in fact, just this morning. And it was like, oh my God, he's going on about the same thing. And it sort of feels that way, that as true souled beings, soul travelers, we are thwarted at every turn. It uses us as batteries, or that is what we believe, and that there are many people that want to believe that. Oh, it's the Archons, and we don't stand a chance, you know, and yes, we're just batteries and we're powerless, and that is the way it is, and so we might as well not bother doing anything because that is the way it is. It's how it is. Which is just about as, but is pointless then. I say call it a day. I agree with the Green Wizard, you know, that we have set all this up. This is perhaps a way for us to expunge the sickness, a way to through going through this quest to purge it out of our system once and for all. Or perhaps it's simply a case of, well, in order to come here and have this experience, you need to come in here and be infected with this mind virus so that you can have this experience of powerlessness and worthlessness and this, that and the other. So many people do that and they're still okay with that. They still accept death, they still accept disease, they still accept old age. They still accept animals hunting and killing and eating each other. They're okay with that. They're souls, but they're going to remain. They're going to remain on the 3D for, or as they call it, for quite a while yet. Hence I keep seeing that airport lounge. Not all souls are here for exit just yet. Some of us are, others are not. So that's it, and I'm good with that. There's no problem with that. Each their own. All roads eventually do lead home. But some of us are home nearly, others yet quite a few more lifetimes to go before they awaken to what is really going on, to what is really, that's it, you see. And then they will go through what we have been through, you know, these last few years. The quickening, the deepening, the, oh my fucking God, we've been tortured almost to death our entire life, you know. People like that would say, no, we're not, it's meant to be, there's meaning in it. And yes, there is meaning in it, funnily enough, but you know, then you get to a point where you think, okay, but now I'm done with that, and so it is no longer meaningful. Now it becomes just suffering. There is still a bit of meaning, but not enough. But it was that feeling of like, well, don't even bother, don't bother, don't bother, don't bother. You're not going to get anywhere. Nobody will want to know. Nobody is interested. And it's like, wow. Being acutely aware of that and how heavy that felt. How utterly depressing. You don't have a purpose. You're just here, but you're just trapped here forever and ever, you know. All these types of things. And I'm like Neo, you know, in the Matrix, where he's like, go, leave, go, because I'm not having it. One way or another, people, do not give up on your dreams, such as they are. Because everything may seem completely dark and hopeless, and it may seem as if evil has won. These are clever ploys of evil. You know that. The schoolyard bully is very big. It's very big. But he's not very bright. You need to see through these ploys. And you need to see through all that shit back into the star in your heart and understand that you need to keep stirring the pot, because if you stop stirring the pot, you're in stagnancy land and nothing is going to come of that. It resonates with me that we, you know, and I've said this before anyway, but we have set it up for ourselves, because everything that's happened to me in my life, to me, is meaningful. It really is. It's very, very meaningful, you know. I've always known myself to be some sort of hero on a quest. Many years ago, just walking through London, I used to like going for walks all the way through London, nighttime. I was never afraid. I used to just do that. It used to be great. And I've always felt very alone, but at the same time powerful and potent. Like I was in this world, but I wasn't of it at all. I can't put it into words, but I've always known Enterprise. There's a van that goes by all the time. Enterprise. I've always known this about myself, you know. And I know that I do have a purpose, and that no amount of darkness can stop me or will stop me. It just won't. Sometimes we start something off thinking, I'm going to be doing this and that's what's going to happen. Then that thing becomes something else. It leads us somewhere else. So it wasn't the thing in and of itself. So that kind of falls through. But it takes us somewhere. You see? It's a vehicle. That happens often enough. I find it best not to have these expectations going, it's going to be this and I want this and it's going to be that, because invariably it don't work out quite that way. But I've learned to trust the Great Mother, because things do tend to fall into place, regardless of what the dark side here is telling me. Be afraid, be very afraid. And that's very much what's happening right now. They are pumping fear out like we're in, I don't know, like we're in some giant sewage farm. That's what it feels like now, like we're in some massive, massive sewage farm. And there's these big, horrible, disgusting, vile pipes, massive pipes. And there's some guy doing the thing, and all this shit, which is fear and self-hate and wanting us to stay stuck in the dark side of our psyche. No, you can't. No, you're worthless. Don't even bother. They're not going to let you succeed. They're going to and R and R. And it's like, yeah, all that is there, and it's saying that to me, and I'm feeling that, and there's still a part of me that really, really believes that and sits there. But I'm not doing that shit, man. I'm not going to let that stop me anymore. Because I feel in my heart, my value, my worth, my power, my uniqueness, my quirkiness, everything that the NPCs hate about us, that unsettles them because it's out of the norm. They are programmed. They're like robots. Set menu, very limited. We're infinite, and we're infinite, right? No limits whatsoever, really. So we're totally quirky and idiosyncratic, and I can't deal with that. So, you know, it was like, yeah, you do get ideas and you see them on the external plane manifesting other people, etc., etc. That does happen. But I don't take that shit personal. And in the past I have thought, I might as well just give up then, but I'm not doing that. I won't do it. I don't know what's going to happen here, you know, and I know that they want us to be terrified. I know that they want to completely and utterly demoralize us and suck us dry so that we give up and give in to the dark side. Come to the dark side, you know, all this shit. We are, Luke, we are there. The Emperor is there, sitting on his throne, you know, with his eczema and his foul breath, you know, and his fucking cape on, like, really? And Darth Vader is over there, and the Alliance is being bloody massacred, and it's like, yeah, you see, it's done, you finished, you're doomed. Give up, just give up. Why don't you just give up? And we're here. We are going to be here, and we're going to say, no, 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 and we get that lightsaber out, and we do what we have to do, people. We don't need to fight evil. That's what it wants, because when we're busy fighting evil, we are not focusing inward into our hearts to bring forth the magic. That's how you fight evil. You don't waste your time and your energy pushing back. You say, right, fuck that shit. Right, what's going on within me? Where's my magic? Ah, my magic is here. What do I really want to do right now? Regardless of whether they say it's possible or not. Or the threats they make to, well, we're going to stop you and you're not going to be allowed to do this and that. I'm not listening to that either. What is it you really want? And then set forth and do what you can. Something along those lines. We need to start doing that. We need to start self-actualizing and bringing forth some of that fucking fighting spirit. Not wasting and fighting and pushing back evil, which is feeding off that and loves that. No. Get away from doing that and start focusing on the light within and manifesting that on the without plane, the outer plane. Because that will defeat the darkness, people. Bringing in the light. You go into a room, the more light you put in a dark room, the more light you put in it, darkness gone. Finito, basta. That's what we need to do, people. That is what we need to do. So I'm going to be doing what I want to do. And I strongly encourage you all to do exactly the same. We are warriors of the light, people. Come on. We're not here to give in and we're not here to give up. I know what it feels like. I know the energetic climate. I have never known it this thick. Whew. But something very deep within us has been uprooted and is coming up now, showing us what we have really believed. All that programming. No, you can't. No, you won't. No, you mustn't. No, we won't let you. No, you not. No, you won't. You're powerless, you're worthless, you're not creative, you're boring, you're crap, you'll never be good enough. Oh man, it's endless, and it's lies, 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 lies. You look at these NPCs, what do you see? All they can do is mimic us. And they're not any good at it at all. They're no good at it. We are the quirky, unpredictable, idiosyncratic characters here, people. We are the ones with the creativity. If we keep believing that they have the power to stop us, our consciousness creates reality. We are manifesting that happening over and over and over again. We're doing it. We're putting it out there. Well, they keep taking it. Oh, they keep taking away from me. I'm just not going to bother anymore because they won't let me. They won't let me do it. In other words, oh, evil's so powerful. It's just going to stop me forever and ever, and I'm never going to get anywhere. And I'm just, no, you know, so I'm just going to give up now. Yeah. Well, I'm not doing that, and I'm sure you don't really want to do that either. I know where we've been and I know what's happened. I know we've been traumatized and tormented and tortured and gaslit. We have been stolen from, I know that too, yes I do. The Seven of Swords keeps coming up in many readings. Yes, they have stolen from us. But the stronger we grow within us, people, the more our heart vibration grows and, you know, this is happening. Because I can feel it. I do. Every day. And I'm choosing to stand in my light. That is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit there in the dark. No, it's all true. And they're taking it all. And oh, poor me. And I'm not going to bother anymore. Because fucking hell, no way. No. So anyway, people, that really is all I wanted to say today. Is like, don't give up on yourself and on the light. And on your fellow soul travelers. We are here together. We may not know each other in person and be able to get together. It's a shame. But we are connecting logistically here. The evil is just really doing this sewage farm thing, and it's just all fear, 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 you know, and we mustn't fall for it. It's the hardest thing ever. It's very convincing, you know. Look at the life you've lived, look where you've been, look what's happened to you, and all that creativity was just sucked right out of you, and you'll never be able to get anywhere, and you're never going to get anywhere, and evil's won, and they're going to vaccinate you all, and you're going to die, and they're going to kill your dogs and your cats and your parrots, and yeah. Well, go fuck yourself, evil, because I don't believe you. I'm not going to fight you because you're just not worthy of me fighting you and giving you my precious energy. I'm just going to focus on moi here, my heart. Love myself. I'm going to love myself, nurture myself, come home to myself. I'm going to carry myself, and I'm going to do what I want to do and let the chips fall where they may. One way or another, we always win. Evil knows that. Ta-da. All my love to you.